All right, today our viewer has asked, or they've said that they are vegan, but still struggle a lot with having constipation. And, given their vegan diet, they're just wondering if there's anything else you might recommend or what might be going on with them.
Oh, such an important question. And let's start at the basic. What is constipation? Constipation is defined as having a bowel movement no frequently than every 3 days. And when the stool is pushed out, there's usually hard balls of stool that are hard to evacuate. That's constipation. Now, some people have a big bowel movement and they don't have another one for a couple of days just because the colon has emptied out. And they say, oh, I constipated, I haven't had a bowel movement in a couple of days. That's not constipation. That's just good bowel function. But if you aren't having bowel movements more than every 3 days and they're hard balls of stool that you got to really strain to push out, that's constipation. Why might that happen? Well, let's kind of reverse engineer the issue here. If we eat a whole food plant-based diet, like our gorilla and bonobo cousins do, and they're up in the trees stuffing leaves and fruit down their tummies, they don't have constipation. I've never had a gorilla in the office complaining of constipation. And when the gorilla researchers examine their stools, they pass these big soft stools several times a day. So that tells us something, that a high fiber diet will give enough mass for the intestines to get a purchase and push the stool mass along. The other thing you need besides a high fiber diet is plenty of water. If you're not drinking enough water, the colon will suck water out of the stool to keep enough water in your bloodstream, but makes the stool hard. So sometimes constipation is a sign of dehydration. They might not be consuming enough water. So you want to eat more whole fiber rich foods. And we're talking about whole grain cereals and brown rice and quinoa and beans. When I hear that a vegan is constipated, if it's true constipation, makes me wonder about the processed foods in their diet. The vegan pastries and veggie burgers and processed foods don't have much fiber in them. And if it's truly a fiber lack, then it's a matter of reducing or eliminating the processed foods in your diet and really upping the whole fiber-rich plant foods in your diet. So up the fiber, up the water, and you got to move. When we put people to bed in the hospital, one of the first things that happens is we get constipated. Why? Because the colon is a tubular structure. When we go take a walk, every step we jiggle it up and down, and the colon responds. And a nice vigorous walk certainly helps getting normal bowel action going. So that's the third thing: enough fiber, enough water, daily activity. And then finally, if you really want to help move things along, nature has some natural laxatives that can help. When I was working at True North Health Center in Santa Rosa, and people complained that they need help with the bowel movement, every evening at dinner, we would serve them 3 or 4 prunes, old time remedy, but they work. If people have a hard time chewing them, then in the morning we would take 3 or 4 prunes, put them into fresh water, let them soak all day. They rehydrate into these juicy, succulent confections. And you take 3 or 4 prunes every night, whether dried or rehydrated. Night after night after night, believe me, you will soon be passing those big, soft, easy to pass stools. So any vegan is constipated. As I said at the beginning, may not be true constipation. You may have just great bowel action and you pass a big, large, soft stool and the colon's empty and it takes a day or 2 to fill up and you may not have a bowel movement for that day. That's not constipation. That's good bowel function. But again, because the stool masses are big and soft and easy to pass. But if you really are in that position where you don't have a stool to pass every day, and those that you do are hard and difficult to pass, then up the fiber, up the water, up the activity, and think about having some prunes at night and you'll be someone who you say, I used to be constipated, but now I know what to do about it. Hi, everyone. Dr. Michael Klaper here, announcing our new format for our Q&A with Dr. K. Annie Hagen will be asking me one question that's been sent in by our viewers. So if you want to see if your question is getting answered, do join us for our Q&A with Dr. K right here. Hope to see you then.